They asked who I was. The Admiral, with a glint in his eye, simply said, "She's your commanding officer in a well of shadows." My name is Alara Vance, and that day, everything changed. I wasn't just another recruit, another face in the crowd. I was a ghost, a legend whispered in the halls of the Academy, the one they sent into the darkest corners of the galaxy when all other options had failed. A well of shadows wasn't a place. It was a state of being, a mission so deep undercover that your own command had to forget you existed. For 3 years, I had been a nobody. I scrubbed decks, ran diagnostics, and took orders from officers who had less field experience than I had in my little finger. It was the perfect cover. No one looks twice at the quiet tech who keeps to herself. No one suspects he's cataloging every weakness, every compromised protocol, every disloyal whisper. The ship, the Star Strider, was the fleet's pride, a behemoth of chrome and plasma. But a sickness had taken root within its core, a conspiracy, a planned mutiny that threatened to fracture the entire system. Intelligence had picked up whispers, faint signals of a betrayal that would hand our most advanced warship over to the enemy. They needed someone on the inside, someone who could blend in, listen, and act when the time was right. They needed a ghost, so they sent me. My only contact was Admiral Thorne, a man carved from granite and starlight. He was the one who personally selected me for the Well of Shadows program. He knew my capabilities, my history, my tolerance for isolation. We had one rule: no direct communication unless the situation was critical. For 3 years, I was alone, gathering a mountain of evidence piece by piece. The conspiracy was led by Commander Valerius, a charismatic and ambitious officer, second in command of the He was a hero to the public, a decorated veteran, but I saw the darkness in him, the resentment that festered beneath the polished exterior. He believed the fleet's leadership was weak, corrupt, and he had convinced a significant portion of the crew that he was their rightful savior. He was planning to seize control of the ship during our next long-range patrol, far from any friendly support. The day it all came to a head started like any other, a routine maintenance check in the lower engineering bays. I was replacing a faulty power conduit when Valerius and his inner circle came marching through. They weren't supposed to be there. One of his lieutenants, a young ensign named Kayal, pointed at me. "Commander, what about her? She's not one of us. She sees too much." Valerius looked me up and down, his eyes cold and dismissive. "Just a grease monkey. She knows nothing." He turned to his men. "The time is now. Secure the bridge. Lock down communications. The Star Strider is ours." As they moved out, my heart hammered against my ribs. This was it. The critical moment. I slipped away into the service corridors, my hands flying across a hidden comms panel. I sent a single, encrypted burst transmission. Just one word: harvest. The signal that the Well of Shadows was compromised, and the operation was live. Moments later, the ship's internal alarms blared. But it wasn't the mutiny alarm. It was a Priority 1 fleet-wide broadcast. Admiral Thorne's face appeared on every screen, his expression grim. "Commander Valerius," his voice boomed, "your actions are an act of treason. Stand down your forces immediately." Valerius on the bridge laughed. "Old man, you're too far away to do anything. Your fleet is days away. This ship is mine." Thorne's gaze was unflinching. "You misunderstand, Commander. I'm not giving the order to stand down. I'm just delivering the message." His eyes seemed to look right through the screen, right at the mutineers. "Your commanding officer is already on board." A confused silence fell over the bridge. The mutineers looked at each other. Their captain was locked in his quarters. Who was he talking about? Valerius's face tightened. "What trick is this, Admiral?" That's when I made my move. I had used the chaos to get to the ship's armory, bypassing the locks with codes no one knew I had. Now, clad in Spec Ops armor and armed with a pulse rifle, I emerged from a service hatch right behind Valerius's command group on the bridge. The bridge crew gasped. The young ensign, Kale, who had pointed me out earlier, stared in disbelief. His jaw hung open. It's the tech. The mechanic. What is she doing? He looked Guango Myral Thorn on the screen, then at me, his eyes wide with confusion. He spoke the question that was on everyone's mind. Sir, who is she? And that is when Admiral Thorn delivered the line that would be repeated in training halls for decades to come. A small, cold smile touched his lips. He looked at Kale, at Valerius, at all of them. They asked who I was. The Admiral said, "She's your commanding officer in a well of shadows." My voice cut through the stunned silence, amplified by the helmet's Commander Valerius. As of this moment, you are relieved of duty. My name is Commander Alara Vance, Special Operations Division. This ship is now under my command by the authority of Fleet Admiral Thorn and Emergency Protocol Harvest. For a moment, no one moved. It was surreal. The mechanic, the nobody, was now a specter of authority standing before them. Valerius was the first to react. He snarled, drawing his sidearm. "Kill her!" But his men hesitated. They were soldiers, not just thugs. The Admiral's words, my appearance, the authority in my voice, it had shattered their conviction. They saw the truth. They had been lied to. They had followed a traitor. I didn't give Valerius the chance to force their hand. Primera, wise faster. A single, precise shot from my rifle sent his weapon flying from his grasp. In the same motion, I disarmed 2 of his lieutenants who were closest to me. The fight was over before it began. The mutiny crumbled, its leader disarmed and its followers disillusioned. The loyal crew, freed from their posts, quickly secured the traitors. As they led a seething Valerius away, I looked at May, his face a mask of pure hatred. "Who are you?" "Really?" I pulled off my helmet, letting my hair fall a fade. I met his gaze. "I'm the person you never bothered to see." The aftermath was a blur of activity. I coordinated with Admiral Thorn, secured the ship, and began the long process of damage control. I had to interview every crew member, sort the conspirators from the coerced, the loyal from the opportunistic. It was grueling work. The young ensign Kale was one of the last I spoke to. He was terrified, expecting a court-martial and a prison sentence. He stood rigidly before my new command desk on the bridge. "Ma'am," he stammered. I don't know what to say. I was wrong. I followed him. I looked at him, not as a commander, but as someone who had also been young and impressionable once. "You made a mistake and said you chose the wrong leader. The question is, what will you do now?" His eyes filled with a new resolve. "Anything you command, ma'am? I want to make it right." I nodded slowly. "Good. That's a start." My 3 years in the dark were over, but I knew this was just the beginning. There would be other missions, other wells of shadows, waiting in the endless night of space. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and sometimes, to protect the light, you have to be willing to become a ghost, to walk in the shadows, and to be the person no one ever sees coming. They asked who I was. I'm Commander Alara Vance, and my watch is never over. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another journey into the unknown. Let me know in the comments what you think of Commander Vance's story. Until next time, stay vigilant.